Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, and to all my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you how to draft a boob tube pattern. If that's something you're interested in, keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. Using this pattern paper to draft the boob tube pattern. So you're going to cut out a piece of paper that is enough to cut your bust, your waist, and then make sure you add at least 10 inches or 7 inches allowance to it for your pattern. So this is what you see me marking here. So my bust measurement is 36, and here I went ahead and cut out a piece of paper that is as wide as 23 inches. So make sure you cut something as big that will be enough to cut your pattern out. So after that, I'll be folding this into two. Now I'll be drawing a straight line here. So this line you are seeing is our starting line. So to draft your boob tube, you're going to cut out a bodice pattern. I'll be showing you guys how to do that in this video. So this line is our starting line. It's also known as the shoulder line. From here, I'm going to mark down from here to my bust point. So from my shoulder to my bust point is 10 inches. So I mark that down. And then from my shoulder to my under bust is 13 inches. So here, from the shoulder to the bust, from the shoulder to the under bust. Now from my shoulder to my half length, so my half length measurement is 16 inches. I'll be marking that down here. So I went ahead and labeled it the bust point, the under bust, and then my half length. So now we'll work on the shoulder. So we're going to divide your shoulder measurement divided by 2. My shoulder is 14 divided by 2, which gives us 7. So I mark that down here. And then from this point, I will come down by 1 inch. So this 1 inch will serve as the shoulder slope. And then from this folded part, I'll be measuring out the neck width and my neck depth. So for my neck width, I will be using, let's say, 3 inches here. And then for my neck depth, 3 inches. Then I will use my ruler to connect the point together to form a round neckline. Now I'll connect this, I'll slant my shoulder slope back into this neckline. So this is what we have. This is the shoulder slope and the neckline. Now to get the chest line, so I'm going to divide my bust measurement divided by 6 and I will add 1.5 inches to whatever it gives us. So in my own case, mine is 7.5 inches. So this line is the chest line. Now from this shoulder slope, I will draw a straight line to meet my chest line. So this is what we have. After that, I will be measuring out my nipple to nipple measurement. So my nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches. So 8 inches divided by 2 is 4. So I'll mark that 4 down here. 4 inches on my chest line, on my bust point, on my under bust, and also my length. Then I'll connect the 4 points together. So this is what we have. This is like a basic bodice pattern. So on this armhole side, I will come to this side and then I'll get the midpoint of this. I'll get the midpoint of this. So it will be 7.5 inches divided by 2. I'll get the midpoint of it and then I'll just mark it down here. And then I'll come in by 1/2 inch. So I'll connect this point to this and this. So this is my armhole. So to get your boob tube shape very well, you come out this part, you come out by 1.5 inches. Then you come in by 1/2 inch. But if you are very busty, you come in by 1 inch. If you are not busty, you come in by 1/2 inch. Then you go out by 1.5 inches. Same thing, you repeat same thing on the under bust. You come out by 1.5 inches. Then you come in by 1/2 inch. Now you're going to connect the 2 points together. Now on this bust point, you come down by 1 inch. On this bust point, you come down by 1 inch. And then you use your curved ruler or your free hand to connect this to this and this to this. So you connect this to this, you curve it like this. And then you connect this to this. So you can see what we have here. Now on this shoulder line, this slant that we have here, you get the midpoint of it. So we have 4 here. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So you mark that down. and then you connect it back to this chest line. From this midpoint, you connect this point, you draw a line to meet this chest line. So this is what we have. Now, from this bust point, you come up by 1 inch. From this bust point, you come up by 1 inch. And then from this 1 inch that you came up by, you measure 1 inch in and out on the both sides. So you measure out 1 inch and you measure in 1 inch. Inch that you went up by, and this 1 inch and 1 inch in, you connect it back to your bust point. This is what we have. Now for the shape of your boob tube, depends on how your client wants it. If they want the cleavage to show, to reveal very well, they can come down. So you can come down from this chest line. You can come down by 1 inch or 1.5 inches, or you can come down by 1.5 inches or 1 inch. But in this case, this person doesn't want boobs to be too open or too revealing, so I'm only going to come down by 1 inch. And then I will bring that shape and connect it back to my armhole. So from here, I'm going to have something like this. And this is what we have. Now we extend this point, this to this, and to this. Now to draft out the bust measurement, the waist measurement, and the under bust measurement, so I'll come to this chest line, and then I will divide our bust measurement divided by 4, which is 9. And then this part that we are taking out, I will measure it. What we have here is 2 inches. I will replace these 2 inches back to the measurement. So these 2 inches that will be taken out, I'm replacing it back on the measurement as the allowance. Now on the bust point, I will also repeat the same thing, which is a bust measurement divided by 4 is 9. I will mark that down. So because we are not taking out anything from this bust point, I'm just going to measure these small pieces that we have here. I'm just going to add that ½ inch to this. And then on the under bust, I will divide our under bust measurement divided by 4. So for our under bust measurement divided by 4, it's 8. So I'll mark that down. And then what we have here, which is 2 inches, I'm replacing it back here. And then I'll repeat the same thing on the waist. Our waist measurement is 6.5. Around measurement divided by 4, it's 6.5. So what I have here, which is 2 inches, I'm replacing it back here. Now on this pattern paper, I will not be adding allowance to it. So I'll be cutting this out. If you're adding allowance to it, make sure you remember to add your 1.5 inches allowance to each and every one of it. But if you are not adding allowance to it, you cut it out. I'll be adding the allowance on the fabric, not on the pattern paper. That's why I'm not adding the allowance to this pattern paper. I'll be adding allowance to the fabric. So now we are cutting this part out. We are cutting this part out. We don't need it. And then this part out. So this is what we have now. You're just going to place it on your fabric and cut this out. And also for the side, this is what we have. So it's going to be like this, and then this will be in the middle. Then you join them together. I will make a video on how to join them together. So my next video will be how to join your boob tube together. So this is what we have for that, and that's that for the front part. So for the back part, we're going to repeat same thing, which is from shoulder to the bust point, 10 inch. The shoulder to the bust, 13 inches. And then the shoulder to the half length, 16 inches. Then I will mark out 1 inch for the zip allowance. Now I will come here. From here, I'm going to measure out the shoulder measurement, which is 14 inches divided by 2, 7. So I will mark my 7 here. And then to repeat what I did on the front part, to get your chest line, you divide your bust circumference divided by 6. Then whatever that gives you, you add 1.5 inches to it. So in this case, mine is 7.5. I'll mark that down here. And then I'll connect this point to this point. For my back neckline, I'll go in by 3 inches, like the way I did for the front part, and come down by 1.5 inches. So this is for my back neckline. Then I'll come down from this line by 1 inch to create my shoulder slope. Then I'll connect it back to this neckline. So I'll just connect this point together to create my armhole. The difference between the back armhole and the front armhole is that for the front part we went in by 1/2 inch, but for the back we just curve it straight like this. Now for the dart of the boob tube, the same thing, the bust, which is the nipple to nipple measurement, the 4 inches, we come to the bust chest line, we mark the 4 inches. To the bust point, we mark the 4 inches. Under bust, we mark the 4 inches, and on the waist, we mark the 4 inches. So I'm just going to draw a straight line on it. So to get the back dart, you come to this chest line here, you go down by 1.5 inches on this chest line. On this chest line, you go down by 1.5 inches. And then you come here on this waistline, you come in by 1/2 inch and go out by 1/2 inch. Then you connect it to this point here. So I'm just going to use my ruler to connect that together. And then I measure out the bust circumference divided by 4. Like I said, I'm not adding any allowance to this. So bust circumference divided by 4, 9 inches. I mark that down. Then I come to this bust point, I repeat same thing. Then the under bust is 8 inches, which is whatever the round total divided by 4 is 8 inches. Then this data that I'm taking out, I'm going to replace it just like the way we did for the front piece. And then for the waist, which is 6.5 inches, then I take this allowance here that I'm taking in, I'm replacing it back here. For the boob tube area, I'm going to, the way we did for the front part, that we just come in like this, but in this aspect, I'm just going to bring it straight. Now, it depends on how low you want the neck, the back boob tube to be. So in this aspect, I'm just going to come up on this bust point by 1 inch. Then I connect it from my armhole back to this point, like this. So basically, this is what we have. So now I'm going to cut it out. And this is for the back piece. You can see the shape here for the back piece. So you had your zip. This is the zip allowance. You had your zip allowance, and then that's just it. So this is the pattern for the boob tube. This is how to cut your boob tube pattern. We have the center front, the side front, and the back. And that's just it. Remember to add allowance when cutting this out on your actual fabric. I did not add any allowance to this. I'll be adding allowance to the fabric. So when you're cutting this out on your fabric, please make sure to add at least 1.5 inches allowance to it. So guys, that's basically it on how to draft a boob tube pattern. I hope you find this video helpful. If you do, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done that yet. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.